Hey everybody, it's been a little while since we have talked deeply on a level of soul and spirit. I have spent, I think, the last 3 months really supercharged on my inner journey work. Hi, Mr. Dorian. And have been an avid meditator for 20 years and am certified and have learned from master teachers like Ram Dass and Master Charles Cannon and Eckhart Tolle. And I can tell you all of the work, even Tony Robbins, right down the line, is absolutely ridiculous. All of the things that I have done and poured my heart and soul into, my money and time, not that they didn't work, they all worked. They all were absolutely needed in everything that I needed in my life. And all of those components make me who I am today. But the reason that I did it was because there were spaces that I found out, and this actually didn't happen until I was hard charging in my passion. And then I got into a space where this giant monster hit me, and it's always been there. And I thought, oh my God, you're so huge. I thought you were gone. I thought we just eradicated it. We were doing work on consciousness, confidence, on, the inner child and all of that stuff. And I thought I had it resolved. And, apparently I did not. And that was a huge thing. And it was menacing. It was like that inner critic that was it was terrified. When I got down to the moment of understanding what it was, so I did know this through inner child work and shadow work, I recognized that this was my inner child trying to protect me from harm that it just kept feeling was consistent, because safety and security and trust were shaky and nothing felt safe or stable, and that's your first chakra. And so, when that's not developed, other things spin kind of crazy out of control. So, here I have this tiny child, literally this is why we call it inner child work, trying to get my attention, and I did, and she did. But I didn't know how to heal her. I was pouring in all this stuff. Maybe you can relate to that. I was meditating every day, eating right, doing all these things, and clearing and purging and surrendering. And then I am hit with this like whammo. And this is kind of like, it felt to me like I was a gladiator that got put into the arena, right? But what I was accustomed to fighting was nothing compared to this. This was like the 24-headed Hydra, and it happened to know every point in my body on attack where I had a weakness. And so, there was a moment in this whole journey where I came to a point where I went deep into my center, and it's kind of like that Zen moment, that Yoda's having where the whole world is chaotic and you have to go inside and just reflect. I'm asking myself, I'm going, how am I feeling right in this moment? Like, what is my gut telling me? What is my inner compass telling me? And I have to get out of this space, and I have to center and get clear, because at the moment I was in a really volatile space that was just chewing me alive. I didn't have the upper hand on this monster yet. So I was asking questions like, do I need to back up a minute and re-suit up and get better? When I think about the armor to me is like a higher state of consciousness. The higher I go in my awareness, the more incredible my armor is, right? And that's what it feels like when you hit challenges and stuff. Case in point, I've been here maybe 3 days. And on the second day that I got here, I drove down the road to go get my internet service turned on, and I was hit in a collision. My car spun about 3 times in the road in the middle of a busy intersection, and my car was totaled, completely totaled. So second day I'm here, my car is completely totaled, and I am not bruised, scraped, bumped, bleeding, nothing. The airbag popped open on the passenger side, and he hit the tail end of me, so it spun me around really quick, which was insane. And you have moments like that, you're like, fuck, am I gonna die? But I knew that it was just very strange how it happened. I heard bang, and then there was this spinning, and I was just like taking a breath, and I didn't feel anything but air. So to me, this is going to reiterate the stuff that I'm saying about the psilocybin. I felt protected for the first time in my life. I did not feel alone in that car, which is really bizarre for me, okay? I mean, I felt my sister when she died. And I think I shared that with you guys before. I felt my sister sitting next to me, and she was causing all kinds of interesting stuff to happen without my electrical system in my brand new car. And I had to open the door and tell her to get out because she was freaking out my kids. And, it was a little bit unnerving, and then it stopped, and so I am used to the paranormal, but I couldn't, for some reason in my life, I couldn't feel my own angels. I couldn't feel my guides. I knew they were there, but I needed some sincere truth to it. Like, I needed to know. I wanted some kind of solid evidence that there was something safe and beautiful and pure and sacred about living life. Because one thing that I, recognized, and this is what psilocybin does for you too, is it gave me a view into my past. I was able to go way back and take a look at things that absolutely made sense. These pieces, going through life, most of us are like this, holy crap, I'm wishing for this, but that never happens. It's always just, you think you're doing good and you're climbing the hill, and sometimes you get smacked like I did 2 days ago. So what I found is I wanted to know things like, where did I come from? How many times have I been here? Am I paying off a karmic debt? How do I get the message across to do what I need to do? And what I had gathered in my session, which, by the way, started when I did the heroic dose at 7.5, and that continued because mushrooms, it's not like taking a pill and it digests in your system and then it disperses into your system and you eradicate it. Psilocybin, like a lot of these beautiful plant medicines that are so perfectly put together, they continue to work. Long after that session you've gone through, it continues to reveal and open and strengthen you. And that is why it is such a potent medicine. And most of my life was just absolute chaos, insanity. I went from being an abused child to being a foster care, to going and being a homeless, to being married, to being homeless again, and it was just, I couldn't find my space, my shift. I couldn't even find my people because I felt like every time I opened my mouth to talk, that these people had such a dense energy that I just couldn't get into their heart space. So I knew my whole life that I'm a heart-centered person and I speak from my heart. And if there's one thing I can do in this world, my God, I can love. That I know about me. But what I didn't know is like my space of origin. I had no idea. I'm just thinking I'm this earthling, like the rest of us think we're this earthling, we're here. But I didn't know where I'd gone before. I didn't even know my family outside of the crazy here, because I can't consider what happened to me as a child, my family. In fact, I want to share you a really kind of scary and somewhat funny story with you. But when I was 4 years old, it was a really tragic time for me. It was very hard. My mother had just married my stepfather, and my stepfather was a very abusive man. He was a big guy. He drank. He did a lot of drugs. He stole money. He was the worst kind of guy ever, okay? He beat up my mother. I witnessed this stuff, and I had to protect my sister, she was 18 months earlier than me. And so my life was scared. I was scared to be alive. I was scared to go to sleep. It was just horrifying all of the time. And at 4 years of age, after a particularly very painful situation with my stepfather, I was crying and sobbing and praying because somewhere I felt like that might have been a good idea. Nobody really told me that's what I should do. And I was open to anything. I'm 4 years old. I'm open to anything. And all I could say was, I don't want to be here. Would you please take me? I want to go away. I want the pain to stop. I want to be returned to my rightful parents. And then it hit me. I did not even feel like I was supposed to just be here, but I was here. And I looked at my mother and I looked at her like, you're not my mother. I just knew. She was physically my mother. She gave birth to me, but she wasn't my mother. She was not. And I went to her and I said, quite adamantly at 4 years old, I said, I want you to return me to my mother right away because there's been a mistake. I want to go home. And I had tears in my eyes and I was so serious. I want to go home. I want to go back to my mother. And my mother was very angry and she slapped me across the face and sent me to my room, and that's how she handled that. Which solidified the part that I believed I was loved and still do. And what I saw from her was no love at all. And I said, she can't be part of me. And so I lived my life believing that she was a physical vessel that brought me into this world, a lot like my father, but that they aren't actually, and that might sound a little strange, but if you can stretch your mind to that, they are not my parents. And I got to tap into that, which is dramatic in its own right, and I don't have language to really express that. But when you are journeying on things like psilocybin, peyote, San Pedro, ayahuasca, these are the saviors of humanity right now. Because what they do is they get into spaces that clear out the stuff that is just resistant, like I was saying earlier. All that meditation, 20 years of meditation, even with the best mentors, and that shit was there haunting me like it was when I was 19 years old and stepping out onto the stage for the first time. It hadn't gone away. But then it did. Because something happened during my journey where I was sitting in meditation and my intent was so clear. It was like, I need to know, I want my heart open, I need to heal, I have a real purpose to be on this planet. And then whammo, vision. It's like the sky was opening, the clouds were moving, I was looking out my window, I literally saw this happening, and I heard and felt things inside of me. And it was very, very clear to me, some of the craziest shit. I thought I'd lost my fucking mind as I heard, you're Palladian starseed. I know I'm a light worker, but okay. So I Google this, I research it, and I find out, well, look at that. I've got all of these characteristics and I feel exactly like that. Not just a little bit, exactly like that. And that's not so far out of focus from what I'm understanding in my life and how it's working and how strange it is for me to even be alive. Let me explain something to you. When I was born, my mother told me that I almost died. And the Shriners helped us. Apparently, this was when they saved my life because I threw up everything they tried to give me. Breast milk, formula, everything. And for a solid 4 months of the first 4 months of my life, I drank nothing but Gatorade. Now, if you know what a baby's brain needs to function and form, you would know that Gatorade doesn't even come close to supplying any of that. And yet, I not only survived, I wasn't mentally retarded, I didn't become an axe murderer, any of those things. I went completely forward to be a voice to help humanity with their struggles and their own shit. Okay, because that's what I felt was my purpose, and certainly is. I guess the reality of feeling like there are more people in this world who really want to come together and make a difference. And I don't wake up in the morning going, I gotta do this and I need to do that, because that sucks. And those words, that kind of verbiage makes you feel like shit anyway. You know, that's another thing I've really been able to look at is my words. Like, take for example, what I just said to you. When you say, I've got to do something, it's quite different if you say, I want to do something. I've got to do something and I want, if you say it and then feel it, I've got to do something. Pause and feel that in your body. And every time you talk, take a second and pause and feel, gosh, it feels a little heavy in there. And then say, I want to do something. Now feel that. quite literally it pops the other direction. I want to do something. There's a lift, the energy, you can feel that. And so all day long, I had been using words that were like, I have to, I need to, I ought to, I should. And all of those feel like crap. So I changed it. And even if I didn't feel like I really liked doing the dishes, or I wanted to do the dishes, or I enjoyed doing the dishes, I said it anyway. I said it anyway because I figured, well, yeah, I don't have to do the dishes anyway. Might as well try to set a new intention, a new neural network in my brain here that eventually I'll go and do the dishes. I won't mind doing it. I'll just do it. And there's that, you know? And things changed really quick for me. And my best friend was like, my God, you're not the same person. You changed in a really great way. You've shifted. And I said, man, I felt like, you know, I literally was out of gear my whole life. I could not figure out where I fit in, why I was here, what this whole purpose was. And I had guys telling me, nobody's gonna love you. You're wanting to do something. So when you want to have sex with more than one person, nobody's gonna, oh, for fuck's sake. You know what I realized is, you know, those are just like the giant crabs that are trying to claw you back in. You know, don't get out. We want to keep you down here with us lowly people that are too afraid to try to rise. And, you know, some of us have to get out of the fucking box. And I know what I'm doing is the first like it in the world. I know that it is so damn new that I'm having my challenges and struggles just getting things implemented and starting, because people are going, oh my God, we've never even thought to do that. Or, well, gosh, we've got so much shame here. We can't actually help you with that, but we support you 100%. So, you know, this is what happens when you're like, you know, a big time, a trailblazer in life, but you wouldn't do anything else other than this. I mean, this is like the purpose. Like people go, well, if you quit, I go, that's not even an option. You understand, when you come to do a mission, to make, hopefully your pain and suffering and the knowledge that you have is enough to shift another person's perspective and, God, hopefully give them a better life. That's what it's about. Money comes, money goes. The lives you touch mean everything. They mean absolutely everything. That smile that you gave somebody that made their day, you did more for them than gave them $100 million. Truly, because there's a place in their soul you touched that money can't get into. And that's why I'm saying that this moving forward in life, these coming together, these people that are, yes, we've got a lot of darkness, but we've got a massive movement and light like you've never seen before, and people they're not shining on it, and they need to, because they want you hyper focused on the things that go wrong. But I want to tell you something. There's a movement in light that is so big and beautiful, and it's happening right now, and it's never been bigger, and you need to take that to the bank. Okay, this is the stuff that's really changing. The way to the new earth is to move to the new earth, people, and to change your mindset, to start thinking about things that support you and nourish you. All right, I've talked enough, I'm sure. If you have questions, I always love to hear it, messages. Please share with me your own experiences, because I really love to hear that. And I'm most definitely working on researching and bringing more of this together so that I can really help other people to blast this out. Because, by the way, I want to mention before I go, I don't have any more depression. And my anxiety is gone. How natural, right, exactly. And so all those pills, the Prozac, all the stuff, I've taken it, and it never did this, because it couldn't get into the spaces where my heart was broken, right? And these medicines are like a blessed mother. Like, she just wraps you in her arms and she says, this is the way it is. And it's like this glorious, beautiful, radiant father that gives you the confidence and the beauty that you need to move in life. And it's both of those things all wrapped up in a medicine. And you can't get that with a pill you get at a pharmaceutical company. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. But focus, my darlings, because life and love is right there, here, now, together.